Hello and welcome to the channel. We're going to do part 3. So this is the last part for our coloring page in Juwelenkistje by HANNA KARLZON. It's Jewelry Box in English, but this is the Dutch edition. So the page we are working on is this guy over here. So in the part 2, I showed you where I shaded my jewelry and I finished the rest off camera. So this is the ending result when everything is shaded in with coloring pencils and we put it our highlights with a white gel pen. So this looks pretty nice, right? So the background for me is a little bit too flat. So mostly when I have this problem, I splattered it with something. Acrylic paint, metallic, watercolors, depending on what you have. And we still have those little white circles here where we didn't put any color. So I'm going to do that with glitter. HANNA KARLZON for me is glitter. Okay, so what we are going to do is start with these shiny bits in the background. So I'm going to do them in a white gel pen as well, and maybe in the middle some glitter glue, we will see, and then splatter it with metallic paint. So the first thing I'm going to do is the white gel pen. So again, the Uniball Signo broad tip. This is a white ink, so no acrylic paint. How do you say it in English? The positive thing about this is once it dried and you are not happy with the result, you can scratch it off the paper with your finger. So that's a positive thing about this, especially when you're a beginner and you made a mistake. You can erase this, not for 100% but for 90%, so you can color over this also. So I'm going to clean up my nib. You have to do that every time because it has a little bit of dry residue on it. It's going to the ink is not going to flow well. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is these shiny bits. I'm going to make these flicks a little bit longer, so it has a nicer effect. You can do whatever you want. It's not going to be very visible because we have a very light background, but it's going to be there. So I'm going to put some ink on the base and just flick it out, so you have a nice end. You can do it with any white pen you have, even with a white Posca. Just take what you have. When I'm showing you something in my videos, you don't have to buy exactly the same materials. Just look at your stuff, look at your supplies, and just look what you can use instead of what I'm using. I am not somebody who uses a lot of supplies, so I'm going to use the same things all over again, so it's easy to follow. I'm also using materials most of us have, maybe some beginner friendly materials as well. I have some quality supplies. I mostly buy them in a small set, or maybe the set with half of the supplies, and then I buy them open stock every once in a while because it's cheaper and then I can convince myself it's not a big cost. Okay, so this is not visible in the background at all. So that's why I'm going to add some color to the background. You can leave it black if you want. I don't think this white gel pen has a lot of, how do you say it? This isn't visible, so maybe in the black it's going to be much more, a little bit better. So yeah, it's white now. We cannot do anything else with it. Okay, so for splattering, what I am doing, I'm going to use metallic paints. So these are some cheap metallic watercolors from Antek Art. I know they promote their stuff on Amazon Germany. I bought them on Amazon NL from the Netherlands. I don't know if you can buy it on every Amazon, but they are very affordable and they are very good for their price. So you have the 24 colors. You have, I think, a box smaller and a bigger size. I bought the 24 glitter colors. So these are the colors in the box. And I mostly use them for splattering. Okay, so the color we're going to use, I was thinking about this color. This one is going to be a little bit too dark, so it's one of those two. What do you guys think? I'm going to take the turquoise color because I've seen in my palette that I haven't used that color a lot. So when I have the opportunity, I'm going to do that. So it's the color C4629, Deep Interference Green. Okay, it's this one. So in this box, it is this one. Okay, so with metallic watercolors, you have to activate them. So just take a little bit of water and put it on the pen, just a few drops, and let it sit for a couple of minutes. I mostly do this in advanced before I splattered it, and I just put it on the side, and when we need it, it's going to be activated. So you have to do that with every metallic paint. Okay, so we're going to let this sit for a second. When I am splattering, I don't want the splatters to be on the main illustrations of this page. So I don't want it to go over this side, this part of the necklace, this part and this part, because those are the focus elements on my page. The chains, I'm not going to be bothered at all for that, but I don't want it like in the middle of the dog. So how I'm doing it, just take some copy paper or something that is very, very thin, and I just put it on my coloring book. So because the paper is very thin, you see the line art or what you have colored through the paper. Then I take just a regular pen and I go around the image I don't want the splattering on. So that's actually it. It doesn't have to be precise, just so it covers up that part of your image. If you have like a tablet or a light pad, or maybe your phone or something like that, you can put the light underneath your page. It's going to be more visible, but this is going to work perfect. It's going to be fine. So I did that already in advanced. So these are the three things I colored in. So this is, like you see, it's not going to be, it's not perfect. It's just to cover up this part of the image. Okay, so how do I stick this on the page without ripping the paper? You can do it with washi tape. You can do it with just some masking tape. I don't have that. I don't have washi tape. I use this. This is like a gum, a chewing gum thingy, to hang up the posters on the wall without using nails or something. So this is actually quite handy when you're coloring, also for taking pictures. So when you're trying to use a page and you use water, the paper is going to curl a little bit like this. And when you want to take a picture, you want it to be flat. So just take some of these chewing gums and stick it on the tip of your page and stick it on this side. So this is going to be flat and it's going to be much easier to take a picture. But for these purposes, I'm just going to use the chewing gum, and you can reuse these, so it's going to take you a lifetime. Okay, so if I'm just going to put this on the page, it's going to move. So what I like to do is just roll it in your fingers and you put it on the back of this paper and you just stick it on top of it. It's very easy to remove. It's not going to rip your paper and it's not moving anywhere. Okay, so I think this was for this one. Yes. Okay. It doesn't have to be the expensive one, but I have this for hanging up my pictures of my son in the kitchen. So the cheaper ones don't work very good, so that's why I have a little bit of a more expensive one. Okay, so that's on here, and then this was like this, I think. Yep. Okay, so just in the middle, more than enough. Okay, that's it. So if I have like a face in the middle of the page, or on this page like we have a dog, I just cut out the dog if I want to splatter it. So okay, because it's going to go off the page when you're splattering, I'm going to put a little bit of paper like this, so it protects the table I am working on. Okay, and I'm going to put a paper on this side of the coloring page so it doesn't splatter on this side. Okay, I think that's okay. If you want, you can stick this paper on the page as well, but or you can clip it on. I have some of those. So these are some paper clippers, and you can put it on the page over here so it doesn't move. Okay, perfect. Okay, so I think this water is sitting long enough on this metallic paint. So how do you know it is ready? Just go in with your pencil. This is just a cheap water brush I am using for metallic paints. I have a separate one because the shimmer of the paints are sticking into the brush, and when you're coloring with a paint without glitter, it's going to shine all the way through because it sticks in the brush. So okay, so when you know it is ready, it has to be like a thick consistency. If you are stirring, just go around in the paint and it is thick, then it's going to be activated. If it is still thin and it is watery, like water consistency, it isn't ready. Okay, so just pick enough pigment on your brush. If you don't have metallic paints, you can use watercolor paints, you can use just some acrylic paint diluted with a little bit of water. If you don't have all of that, just take a water-based marker, scribble it on a palette and pick it and dilute it with a little bit of water, and you have watercolor paint to splatter. You can use inks, you can use whatever you have. Inks are also dilutable with water, so you can scribble some ink on a palette and pick it up with some water. So just do whatever you have. Okay, so this is going to be a little bit too thick. So just add a little bit of water. For the splattering effect, it has to be a little bit runny, because otherwise it isn't going to flick very good. I take quite a thick brush for the splattering effect, but you can do it whatever you have. You can do it with a toothbrush as well. Never tried it, but apparently it works very well. Okay, so we're just going to flick the paint on this page. I like to do that with metallic paints because of the shimmer and shine on the page. I swear to God, if I do this, everything is under the paint. But the effect is a little bit more better than when it is just a flat background. If I made some mistakes with my new color 2s for the background, I splatter it with water as well, just to cover up my mistakes. So I do this quite a lot. Okay, so maybe a little bit over here, maybe a little bit more in the corners. Yep. This doesn't take a long time to dry, so you can use 2 colors as well if you want to. Okay. Perfect. Okay, just give it a second to dry. When I am waiting for it to dry, I am cleaning out my brush, especially with the water brush, because the paint is going to run into this water reservoir, and it's going to give you a very filthy water reservoir, so do it directly. So I will be back in 1 second. Okay, so it's pretty dry, so I'm going to remove my sheets of paper, and we're going to get rid of this. So you can just take it off. The only downside is when you do it with Posca, it isn't going to have this problem, but the gum is sticking to the Uniball Signo, so it's possible that you are removing a little bit of the white. So you can always do that after. You can put on the white Uniball Signo after the splattering effect. But for me, it's going to be fine. Okay, like this. So if the Uniball Signo lifted up a little bit, like over here, just go in and fix it. I have to fix my pages a lot, because sometimes I'm doing it in the wrong order, or yeah, I just make mistakes. That's normal. Okay, perfect. So this is actually how the page is going to look with the metallic splattering effect. It has a really nice effect, and it isn't a big deal to add it. Okay, so the last step I'm going to do, no, 2 steps. I'm going to take my white Uniball Signo, and I'm going to add some shine to the gems. So there are gems over here, and I'm just going to give a little bit of shine to the gems. So I just like to do that to give it a little bit more extra, I think. The more random you do it, the better the effect. Like over here, just go over everything so it stands out a little bit more. Okay, like this. This is everything I'm going to do. And then we're going to take some glitter. So you can take glitter glue or glitter gel pens, depending on what you have. This is the Rayher glitter glue. It is like something, a glitter that fits over everything. It is a little bit like stickles. I take just a toothpick and I go into this little opening because it's always stuck because of the glue that is drying up. Then I always do it first a little bit on a piece of paper because I had the problem that it was stuck and I pressed on it and the tip just went off and all the glitter was on my page. So yeah, do it a little bit on this side and then go on your page, just a tip. Okay, so we had some openings over here around this purple gem. So just add a little bit of stickles or glitter glue, whatever you have, around this gem. We had a little bit of a white space over here, and we had over here as well. The glitter glue takes a lot of time to dry, so do this as the last step and lay it on something flat so it has a chance to dry. I am really debating if I'm going to use the glitter glue on this pearls as well, because here is glitter, here is some glitter, and on this nothing. Yeah, we're going to do that, so be careful for your hands. The color is going to go through this because it is transparent with some glitter. If you're using gel pens, just make sure it is a transparent one with just a little bit of glitter, that it isn't a color, because then you're going to cover up your shadows of your image. Okay, and I'm going to do it in the middle of the stars as well, so they pop a little bit more when we tilt the page into the light. And over here, the stars are not visible at all, so yeah. Maybe it was better to do them black. It's done. Okay, so this is our finished page. I think what would be great is when you add a black border around this. So the page is going to stand out a little bit extra. So I think I'm going to do that. I'm just going to do that with some black acrylic paint or a fine liner, but a thick one. So I'm just going to do that. Just put a frame around this because I think it's going to give a little bit more extra to the page, and then it's going to be done. So I will show you the final result in 1 second. Okay, so here it is, our completed coloring page in Jewelry Box. So what do you think? I actually like it. I'm glad I did the black border around it because the background was a little pale, and now it gives a little bit more attention to the necklaces in the middle. So let me know if you want to try this color along in your own copy of Jewelry Box, or just tell me what tips you're going to use. And if you're putting a picture on Instagram, please tag me so I can see what you guys did. My Instagram account is in the subscription box, also the supplies I used. So yeah, really happy with this one. So this was my first color along. Tell me guys what you think, and yeah, I will try to make another color along in the future. So thank you for watching. Bye.